My name is Martin Rafter. I work for Kilkenny Leader Partnership, more commonly known as KLP. We're a non-governmental organisation. Established in 2009, we're a company that facilitates the delivery of social inclusion, rural economy, community-based projects in County Kilkenny and some projects in the southeastern region of Ireland. As a local development company, we have a number of priorities. And one of those is to support the development of the local economy, and the other one is to support the delivery of a number of social inclusion programs that bring people who are possibly more disadvantaged than others more into the centre of society, where they have jobs, where they have higher standards of education, and where they're bigger participants in their own communities. Kilkenny Leader Partnership is in its second round of the Rural Development Programme, and under the last programme and a number of programmes prior to that, a priority for the company had been the promotion of the production of biomass and the use of biomass by consumers. The Vulcan Project was what we would call one of our flagship projects over the last number of years. And it's been an interesting journey for us because it was a new departure into the corporate social responsibility world. And it's one that emerged kind of organically in its own way. We had been working with networks of forestry owners over the last number of years to start moving forestry that is undermanaged and not reaching the market into the biomass market. I suppose that created a level of profile in terms of work for us. Danone had then started looking at its own needs at its plant in Wexford and had ambitions to reduce the carbon footprint of the plant itself. The Ecosystem Fund, which is the corporate social responsibility element of the Danone Nutricia global operation, has significant ambitions itself in terms of the reduction of its collected carbon footprint across the world. So there was an opportunity there for the plant in Wexford and for the corporate social responsibility ambitions of the group. They then approached us to start a conversation about how could the plant in Wexford be connected with individual forestry owners in the region. And so figuring out how to do that and in their search around the potential around how a major boiler that would feed the energy requirements of the plant in Wexford be fed in a sustainable and efficient way. With that came a need for a consistent quality and a consistent level of volume of biomass material to be fed into that boiler. So how was that going to be organised? When forestry is a very disorganised resource in this country, it's also very spread out and it's held in often very small parcels by individual owners. So really we're Danone in a position to go out and negotiate with every single one of those forestry owners. No, they weren't, because that would not have supported a return in investment. So the work that we'd been doing with the various forestry owners in County Kilkenny in particular, and in some ways in the region, made a level of sense to the people here in the plant in Wexford. So conversations started and a relationship started to grow, and we saw a commonality in terms of our ambitions between what were the ambitions of the plant here in Wexford and the ambitions of the Ecosystem Fund based in Paris and our own ambitions under the Rural Development Programme. And they were about the reduction of the carbon footprint, the securing of jobs in the region, and the improvement of the income that farmers earned from what really is often, in their terms, an undermanaged resource. So that required, from our side, farmers to become more informed in terms of what they actually owned, more informed in terms of how that's managed, and also more in control of that resource itself. So how is that achieved in a practical way? That required a level of organisation of the farmers into kind of collectives, maybe at county level initially, but it actually made more sense to organise forestry owners at a regional level into a forum or cooperative of owners. and that they would then be organised and represented by a core group of people who eventually became Irish wood producers. And Irish wood producers are logistically responsible for the movement of the timber in a particular way, which means it's that the quality is consistent and it is relevant to the needs of the consumer, and it arrives in a timely manner and in a particular condition. But it also then connects, it creates a direct relationship through that value chain between the consumer and the individual farmers. And the ambition is that the farmers' income from their forestry resource is improved, that their level of control over that forestry resource is improved, and that they then collectively become a much more organised sector in a way that is much more economic. And what we have then at the other end in Wexford are we've seen a significant growth in the number of people who are employed in high value jobs at this plant. We've seen the carbon footprint of the plant reduced, and we've seen the development of a very strong relationship between ourselves as a company, between the ecosystem fund based in Paris, and all of the individual farmers who are attached to the project. Okay, so what is the Vulcan Project? The Vulcan Project is a partnership. It's a partnership between Kilkenny Leader Partnership, the Known Ecosystem Fund, the plant here in Wexford, and all of the forestry owners who are connected to the project through Irish wood producers. So that partnership is about working up a sustainable and meaningful, in many ways, economy that is attached to the local biomass market. So how that works is the Known have acted as a stimulus and anchor tenant of the project in terms of consumer, and they then have become a very convincing solution to be able to convince farmers to organise themselves in a particular way, to develop a different type of relationship with their forestry resource and start moving it into a particular market that makes economic sense to them.